this video, we will learn more about the vulnerability scanning techniques and the vulnerability scores and exposure. In the NIST cybersecurity framework, the first step is to identify the vulnerabilities. This involves the information gathering and recon activities. The goal of information gathering is to learn about the number of devices, network layout, open service or ports on the network, and to determine its security profile. After we learn about the number of devices, network layout, and the open services or ports in the network to determine the network security profile, the next step is to conduct a security assessment. There's three types of security assessments carried out: vulnerability assessment, threat hunting, and penetration testing. Vulnerability assessment. It's the process of identifying, quantifying, and prioritizing the vulnerabilities in the system. Basically, what you do is you make a list of your vulnerabilities. Vulnerability scanning. It's the process of inspecting systems and networks for vulnerabilities, which can be taken advantage of by threat actors to take control of the IT infrastructure in an organization. There are some specialized tools or softwares known as vulnerability scanners. These are used to help the network administrators and pen testers to find and address these vulnerabilities. There's different types of vulnerability scanners. Firstly, we'll be discussing about the network vulnerability scanner. Network vulnerability scanners are used to detect vulnerabilities in the network. They're used to determine the network security of host devices. Nessus vulnerability scanner, Acunetics, and MAP. They're popular network vulnerability scanners. Application vulnerability scanners. They're used to detect the vulnerabilities or weaknesses in the applications, such as the web browsers you use and other softwares used by the employees in an organization. It's intended to point out the weak configurations and missing patches. What is Security Automation Protocol? SCAP stands for the Security Content Automation Protocol. It is a security add-on method that uses certain standards to help organizations automate the way they monitor system vulnerabilities and make sure that they are always in compliance with the existing security policy. Simply put, it allows the security administrators to scan the computers, the software in them, and other devices connected to the network based on a predetermined security baseline. It lets the organization know if it's using the right configuration and software patches for the best security practices. What is a CVE? CVE, it's short for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures, is a list of publicly disclosed computer security flaws. When someone refers to a CVE, they mean a security flaw that's been assigned CVE ID number. Security advisories issued by vendors and researchers almost always mention at least one CVE ID. They help the IT professionals coordinate their efforts to prioritize and address these weaknesses to make their computer systems more secure against threat actors. Common Vulnerability Scoring System, also known as CVSS in short, is a free and open industry standard for assessing the severity of computer system security vulnerabilities. CVSS attempts to assign severity scores and vulnerabilities, allowing the threat responders to prioritize what needs to be addressed first and which resources to allocate according to the threat. Scores are calculated based on a formula that depends on several metrics that approximate the ease and impact of an exploit. Scores range from 0 to 10, 0 signifying the lowest threat and 10 standing for the most severe threat. While many utilize only the CVSS base score for determining the severity, temporal and environmental scores also exist to factor in availability of mitigations and how widespread vulnerable systems are within an organization. Threat hunting, also known as the cyber threat hunting, is a proactive approach to identify previously unknown or ongoing non-remediated threats within an organization's network. Basically, what you do in threat hunting is you take a proactive approach and you constantly check for threats in your network. In case if the network is compromised, you'll be able to minimize the incident damage. Penetration testing. It is an authorized simulated cyber attack on a computer system performed to determine the security levels of that system or network. A penetration test can help identify a system's vulnerabilities to determine how prone it is to an attack. We'll learn more about the penetration testing in the upcoming section.